This is Cerebral Cinema. Movies of the mind.
I have been here.
The Grey Goose, Adventures of a Modern Robin Hood.
A whole week went by subsequent to our visit to Derek Morgan, which visit ended in his elimination. I love that word. By this time, I'd built up quite a reputation. Even that beehive Scotland Yard I found was becoming a little disturbed.
Confound it, Ford. Here it is again. Read that. In this morning's Times. There it is. Donations.
The Gresham Private Hospital gratefully acknowledges the receipt of £1,000 from an anonymous donor. The money in notes was received safely.
Well?
Was there...
Yes. In the package was a grey feather.
As usual.
As usual. Listen, Ford. In 3 months, big houses have been robbed of thousands. Safes have been looted of more thousands. Dowager duchesses have lost diamonds. And in every case, mark you, a grey feather has been left behind. A token. A challenge, if you like.
A challenge to whom, Super?
Us. The public. The victim gets a grey feather, and later some darn charity or organization also gets a grey feather. Plus a fat donation. And now comes news of a grey feather stuck in the bell push at Highfield Manor and the murder of the owner.
Have you identified the feather?
Identified it. There are about 70 million grey feathers scattered around every week. Pigeons, hens, ducks, even flaming eagles.
Oh, didn't research department reduce it to a particular brand, sir?
Oh, yes. They were particularly instructive. Marvelously so. Listen, Ford, for your secret ear. Hold your breath. It's a goose feather. They said so, and that's all they could say.
A goose feather?
Tells us an awful lot, doesn't it? There are...
7 million geese in the country.
What?
Sorry, sir, I couldn't help it.
All right. Have your joke. Ford, I'm going to comb every darn poultry farm in the country and find out...
Who's plucking geese, sir?
Stop being facetious, man. Somewhere, someone is putting one over us. Scotland Yard. The public. I'll get him somehow, or I'll give up being superintendent of this division.
A goose feather, sir.
Well?
There's something about a goose feather that I, and I suppose most of us, have forgotten until this moment. But it's coming back to me.
Well, what are you getting at, Ford?
As I remember, the old bowmen of England feathered their arrows with goose feathers. The Grey Goose feather.
That's right. And they shot him in the air at Agincourt and defeated the French's up.
There was another archer and his men, sir, who used the Grey Goose feather to great effect.
Yes? Yes, go on, man.
Robin Hood.
Robin... Gad, man, you've got something at last.
Robin Hood robbed the rich and gave his taking to the poor. Our friend of today robs a wealthy man and some worthy cause benefits. Cast your mind back to those 13 big hauls. 13 charities or deserving causes have been helped. The victim received a goose feather. So did the recipient every time. It's too great a coincidence to be overlooked, sir.
Ford, you've almost convinced me. But such a state of affairs cannot be tolerated. We must get this, Robin Hood.
True. He's a menace to society.
He is. And I won't rest easy till we get him. Inspector Ford, you've got yourself a job. You are specifically detailed to bring in our goosey friend.
Thank you, sir. I think I can.
Yes?
Come in, Barbara. I'll release the cash on the bookcase.
Well, Rolly?
Close the gadget, my dear. Never forget that. Oh. A fine thing if a caller came and found out that my bookcase, when swung out, opened into your flat. Oh, dear. Think of the scandal.
I had thought of the scandal lots of times in the last week, but then you've lost so many opportunities, haven't you?
Shall we say, not lost, but gone before? Before the necessity of caution in our enterprise?
All right, have it your way, Rowley.
It must be my way, Barbara. You and I have too much at stake to take risks. You have your axe to grind, I also. So until our combined axes have been sharpened to razor edge, and they've fallen on those we've decided to execute, we forget other things.
Very well. What did you buzz me for?
This. Here's the evening paper. A very interesting tool. Listen. For months, the depredation of an unknown but very skillful thief have terrorized the city and West End. I like terrorized, don't you? This malefactor has helped himself to thousands of pounds from unsuspecting victims, mostly those possessing jewels and well endowed in other ways with this world's goods. Whenever a victim has been robbed, a grey feather has been found placed in a prominent position. The strange element in every case has been that some charity or some seemingly deserving organization, and in some cases private individuals, have received a very large donation. These Robin Hood tactics were all right in the year 1199, but they do not apply in this 20th century, and it would appear that this reign of lawlessness should receive the utmost attention of the police. Our reporter is given to understand that Chief Inspector Ebenezer Ford has been specially detailed by Scotland Yard to investigate these crimes and bring those responsible to justice. Well, well, well. Ben Ford, by all that's wonderful.
Who is he? Anyone good?
Good. He's the snake's hips and puma's bloomers as a sleuth. And just to mix things up a bit, he's an old schoolmate of mine.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Dangerous? Nonsense. We'll look him up in the near future. Attack, my dear, is the best form of defense, you know. Oh, here's another paragraph. Inspector Ford told our reporter that he had put two and two together and decided that the grey feathers had a significance. Oh, did he? They were more or less indicative of a character on Robin Hood lines. He himself alluded to the criminal as the Grey Goose. Very clever, Ben, very.
He sounds dangerous, this man. Rowley, he seems to have been very smart off the mark about the feathers. Why not drop the feathers altogether?
No fear. That's my little piece of conceit, and I like it.
But, Rowley, this man Ford may take his feathers a step nearer.
How?
Grey goose feathers for arrows.
Yes.
Arrow makers were called Fletchers.
And my name is Fletcher, Roland Fletcher. My dear girl, there are millions of my name in the country.
I still wouldn't underestimate your friend the enemy, Inspector Ford.
All right, we'll take due care. Now, Barbara, it's just 9 p.m., and we have a chore to do. I'm calling it Operation Retribution.
Oh? Am I in it?
My word you are. Lend me that pink ear. Tonight, you wear the pants.
Whose?
Yours. In fact, you get yourself up in that immaculate dress suit I had made for you, complete with top hat, ebony cane, and opera cloak.
Where are we going?
To Lady Bradbury's reception. I have an invitation. I'm due there at 10 p.m. in an hour's time. I propose to, collect during the evening.
But we can't both go. You're not twins.
Why do you think I grew a moustache and had an exact replica made for you and had that most expensive wig made for you?
I'm still in the dark.
Yes, that's part of the plot. Barbara, in your dress suit, gents for the use of, plus moustache and wig, you look very much like me, provided you don't get into a blaze of light. In fact, you'll be my alibi. What a lucky thing it is that you're a tall girl and I'm not a tall man. Dash off now and change. Hop it through the hole in the wall. Meet me at the corner. I'll pick you up in the Daimler. Half an hour's all we've got. I'll explain in the car.
Now, put me out of my misery, Rowley.
Hey, you'll put us both out if you shoot the red lights like that. By the way, as you are supposed to be driving, put on this chauffeur's cap and button the cape across your shirt front.
Uh-huh.
Good. Now, here are the details of Operation Retribution. Sir Tom Bradbury was, one of your objectives.
Yes. My father, you know. He was...
All right. All right. Don't let's get involved. At any rate, we are going to have a slap at the old buzzard tonight.
Good. How?
Lady B and he are having this do. I'm invited, and I'm taking the opportunity, as I told you, of collecting. There'll be about 200 guests, diamond tiaras, furs,
You're
and...
not going to do a hold-up, surely, and pack the Daimler with loot?
Certainly not. But there's a dinky little wall safe in the main bedroom I'm interested in. Now listen carefully. You pass the Bradbury house and park 100 yards down the street. I get out and walk back into the house and join the party. At the opportune moment, I stroll upstairs and voila.
And what do I do?
You wait in the car for exactly 15 minutes. Then you park the chauffeur's cap, doff the cape, and stroll back towards the house. Get onto the porch, keeping clear of lights. Take a cigarette out, and look as if you just come out from within for a breather. And for heaven's sake, keep in the shadows.
Meanwhile,
I'm upstairs doing a little job on the Bradbury safe. Actually, quite a number of people will have seen me having that cigarette you're smoking on the porch. Then, should I be delayed or have to make a dramatic, not to say hurried exit via the servants' stairs, you are more or less a conspicuous alibi as to my whereabouts.
You're very clever, darling, aren't you?
I truly am. And sometime or other, remind me to kiss you for your kind remarks. One thing. Remember, there's bags and bags of jeweled and bedizened old trumps in there. And the cops will be there, too, in their legions. So, watch out.
And then what?
That is the question. Should a hubbub arise, loud lamentations or such, quietly disappear in the direction of the Daimler. Drive like mad, go home, put yourself to bed, etc.
But what about you, Rolly?
If luck is with me, I shall walk home, like a victor, laden with the spoils. If not, I shall drive, but not in a Daimler. Rather in one of those dark and truck-like things beloved of the police. And it will not be going home, it will be heading in the sign of the Blue Lamp. Now stand by. It's 0 hour.
Listen again for the further development of this story of the mysterious Roland Fletcher, the Grey Goose.
Cerebral Cinema hopes you have enjoyed this movie of the mind.